Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Drawback chess, where each player is assigned a random drawback, like Lame Duck, where you can't move your king, or True Gentleman, where you can never capture a queen. My goal is to win 3 games. Let's get started with game number 1. Alright, game number 1, we get the black pieces and our drawback is social distancing. You cannot make non-capturing moves to squares adjacent to your opponent's pieces. Okay, so I can capture their pieces, and I can capture next to other pieces. I just can't like randomly move. For example, d5 shouldn't be available. I just can't randomly move next to their pieces. So I'm gonna have to play, I don't even know what I'm gonna have to play here. Should I be looking for trades? I'd imagine I should, right? I want to invite trades. That way we can get to an endgame where I have more available moves. I'm just gonna play King's Indian for the time being. Okay, bishop b5 check is almost a headache because I can't play c6 or knight c6, but I can block with my bishop. Should they take, it does put me in check, but I can take back. Ooh, knight f3. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take. Knight does take back, I'll just move out of the way. And there's no universe where the opponent like randomly stampedes into my position, because again, per my drawback, I'm totally fine to take back. I just can't move my own pieces towards them without some sort of capture. So I should be relatively safe, especially with this mound of pieces on top of my king. I should be totally fine. Right, rook shuffles over to e1. I might even just play like extra passively, because it's kind of on my opponent to figure out how they're going to attack me, unless their drawback is just completely nothing. It's like you can't move your a2 pawn or something, unless their drawback is like super easy peasy. I'm gonna put the pressure on them to approach me, and again, that should lead us into more trades. Like you can see, we've now traded on e5, queens make contact on the d file, which leads to another trade, and I'm happy with trades because I am capable of taking back, and the more we sort of work our way towards an endgame, the fewer pieces on the board, the less likely that I can't move to a square, for example, knight c4, because there's a piece next to it, right? Because here I'd love to play knight c4, hits the bishop, targets b2, maybe even sends the bishop back from whence he came, but it places my knight next to another piece. So no such luck. Let's continue with c6. I want to maneuver this knight to c7 so I can connect my rooks, because you can see immediately they're going to challenge for the open file. And I'm ready to meet that challenge because my rooks are connected. If they take my knight, that would actually be great. Moves my pawn towards the center. I have a little wall of pawns, which would be nice. No inkling really yet on or as to what my opponent's drawback could be. I feel like the only thing they've done that's been weird is bishop b5. That was a little unorthodox, but didn't really convince me that I was looking at someone's drawback. Oh, I'd love to play knight d5 here defending e7, but again, I can't just place pieces adjacent to my opponent's pieces. I could shuffle back over, that's super passive. If I shuffle over this way, the rook takes, I take back, they grab e7. I mean, my other option is shuffle over this way, allow them to take, I take back, rook d7. I think I'd rather give up the pawn though, or at least give them the opportunity to see this tactic, which they do see. So this is not a weak player, right? They do see that free pawn on e7. I mean, that wasn't like a super deep tactic or anything, but that felt pretty intentionally set up. And my rook can only shuffle to the side, which means I do give up control of the d file. Yeah, bishop d6, they grab the outpost immediately. I need trades desperately. I don't even care that it doubles my pawns. I just need to trade off pieces, because if not, I'm going to be left with like no moves. Whoa, knight g5. It's very strange because this is not a weak player. I've already determined that with some confidence. But they do play like these really unorthodox moves, like leaving the bishop on d6 for no apparent reason, right? But they noticed that I was going to take the bishop and they couldn't take back because of rook takes e1. So they're seeing tactics, but something is limiting them. I just don't see any pattern between these weird moves. Right, b3 I think was to stop knight c4. Let's go h6 and... Oh, I can't boot the knight because it just places a piece next to another piece. Okay, we'll use our knight instead. Get rid of that bishop on d6. If they move back, I don't know, maybe bishop f8 or something. Oh, wait a minute. This kind of reminds me of a game that I played with Viper, where he couldn't stop moving his pieces towards my king. I wonder if I can take... Well, I can take, for sure I can take, because then I just win the rook on e1, so they can't take back. But I wonder if their drawback is lethal attraction, where they can't stop moving towards my king. I feel like that would make sense with a lot of their moves. Yeah, e6. I wonder if they even could take back, right? Because it would move outwardly. Let's take here, or rather, knight takes back. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I'll take on c4. I kind of want to play this, but then like knight g5 check is kind of annoying. And I can't take because then the knight just takes on f7. Although this would confirm my oh, I can't even play my king there. I keep forget. This is the thing. When I remember my own drawback, I totally forget to think about my opponent's. And when I'm only thinking about my opponent's drawback, I totally forget my own. Okay, so I don't know. I guess I'll just take on c4. This is pinned anyways. If my hypothesis is correct, they shouldn't even be able to move the knight back ever, right? Because it would move further away from my king. Pretty much the only reasonable, or at least half reasonable thing they can do with the knight is take the bishop, but even that just hangs the rook, so they kind of need to defend that. But they might not be able to defend that because maybe that moves further away from my king. So they might just be running out of moves. They might only be able to advance pawns, or I don't know, move their rook forward. They do in fact take on g7. I think I've nailed it. I think their drawback is lethal attraction. I mean, it doesn't matter because I win the game anyways, but let's go ahead and pop up the info board. All right, with that, we do have one victory under our belt. You took your opponent's king. Your opponent's drawback was skittish. While in check, you must move your king. Oh, maybe I've attributed my opponent's aggression to their drawback when they're just a very aggressive player. Anyways, with that, we do win game number 1 with a harder drawback than the opponent. Let's go to move on to game number 2. Before we move on, if you want to improve your openings, I recommend checking out the sponsor of this video, chessreps.com, which offers easy step-by-step opening lessons. Drill your opening to climb to the top of the leaderboard or do puzzles that come from real games. Like this puzzle where I can click back to see how we got to this Jobava London position before delivering this nasty fork. Puzzles are completely free, so you can keep doing puzzles to increase your opening elo and then take that practice into a real game, like I did to crush my opponent with the Jobava London. If you want to support the channel and become an opening menace, check out chessreps.com. Now, back to the video. Alright, game number 2, we get the white pieces this time, and I don't have the screen up. Nice. There we go. Game number 2, our drawback is boastful. You lose if you have fewer pieces than your opponent. Okay, that's fine, I think. I'm just going to play a 4-move mate, and my opponent won't notice it, and then I'm going to checkmate them. Ah, they noticed it. We'll play d3 and defend the pawn. This is kind of sketch, because they can sacrifice literally anything. Oh my goodness. They can sacrifice anything and win the game, right? Should they take back? Or rather, I shouldn't even have the opportunity to take back, because upon the first capture, I'd for at least that ply, that half turn, be down a piece. So I need to take on f7 here. I have one more piece than them, and now I have 0 again. All right, let's just go for the king. I'm not going to survive this if the entire game I can't have fewer pieces than my opponent. I'm just not going to survive. All right, we'll give a little check. It's just not possible. King does go back, sure. Let's castle, and then I want to play like, I don't know, e5, queen h5 or something. h6. I have to move back. Go back to h3. Maybe there's ideas of landing the knight on g6 at some point. Okay, bishop comes out. We'll play knight c3. Believe it or not, relative to drawback chess, we've only sacrificed a piece, which is actually not that horrendous. Okay, we'll play e5 now. It's funny too, because if they offer a trade, I have to accept it right away. Because if I do something like check and for some crazy reason they take first, that's it. It's game over. All right, we'll give check. Maybe I can win a free pawn, but they're probably just going to block with the rook. Oh, I've just had a brilliant idea. I can sack the bishop, and that puts me one piece ahead of my opponent. Unless they can't take back. Okay, they can take back. So I do take here, and now I have one more piece than my opponent, even though I'm down material. I have 3 pieces, quote unquote, 3 pawns, and they have 2 bishops. So technically, in terms of literally physical pieces, I have 1 more than my opponent does. Even though, like I already said, the material situation is terrible. Okay, so that gives me a little bit of like an insurance policy. I have a 1-piece insurance policy. So I don't have to be scared of my opponent taking my pieces first. Ah, I should have thought of that at the beginning, but I don't know, the idea of not losing material is like so ingrained in me that it didn't even occur to me loosely. All right, we'll defend the pawn on e5 and simultaneously look for a rook lift. If the opponent doesn't go about developing their pieces, then this should be a crushing defeat. Okay, I can't lose any free pawns, which is funny because that's super against how I would normally play. If I'm attacking their king and they want to come for a pawn, I mean, by all means, I invite them to come capture my pawn while I attack their king. But not this time. This time I am being forced to care about how many pieces I have on the board. Knight to e6. Okay, now I can continue with my rook lift. They haven't been super aggressive about like d6, getting their pieces out so the king can move out of the way. They've instead maneuvered the knight over to e6. Oh, maybe they can't move their king. That would actually explain so much. Okay, let's shuffle the queen over, pin the rook again. Rook f3 is now an idea. It's happened to me again. I was thinking about my drawback so much that I didn't even bother to consider why my opponent's king is still in the middle of the board. Okay, we get queen to e7. I wonder if I can just go f4, f5. Right, because this is technically supported enough. And the rook is pinned anyways, so it's not like it's attacking. Right, knight goes back. This looks really good for me. F5, we push again. See, if I could play this position even in a normal game of chess and just not have to care about how many pieces I do or don't have, I would love this position, even though I'm down, I don't even know how much material. I mean, I've gained some of it back. They've now sacked the knight on f5. I think they're hoping that I'm going to simplify everything here, but I'm definitely not. I didn't do all that just to simplify the position. And I still have my one-piece insurance policy. Oh, rook takes! I can take the king and immediately win game number 2. All right, let's go ahead and pop up the info board. All right, you won. You took your opponent's king. Your opponent's drawback was leading the charge. As long as you have a knight, you cannot move non-knights ahead of your most advanced knight. That sucks. Wait, why is that so much easier compared to mine? That's very suspicious, because that sounds awful. Leading the charge, as long as you have a knight, you cannot move any other pieces that aren't knights ahead of your most advanced knight. I would hate that drawback. You'd have to like centralize a knight and then hope that it doesn't get kicked away. Wow. Or I guess you'd have to do what the opponent did, which is try and get rid of your knights as fast as possible. Oh, that explains knight to a5 on like move 3 or something. Anyways, with that, we do have 2 victories under our belt. Let's go to move on to game number 3. All right, game number 3, we get the black pieces this time, and our drawback is eye for an eye. If your opponent captures, you must capture on your next move or lose. Interesting. So again, there are no sacrifices here. At least for, you know, sacrificing a piece and then looking for an attack. If you sack a piece, you have to take back with whatever they take. Right, knight c3. I could play dynamic queen a5, but we'll play boring, sleepy queen d8 instead. Knight f3, sure, we'll just develop normally. I mean, this position lends itself to trades, but not unfair trades, so we should be fine. Right, the only thing I can't do is give away free material, right? Because if I give away free material, that means that the translation is the opponent has taken something that I can't take back. Castles, sure. But none of that says that I can't go for an attack, if I so please. Also, I have no idea what the opponent's drawback is. They've played a totally normal game. They're even breaking open the center because my king is there. So, super principled by the opponent. I guess I have to take. Wait, isn't that just... Is that free, or are they just going to take and then open up my king? I don't know what's happening right now. Okay, I'm going to take the knight. Bishop b5 check? I just play c6. I already feel bad for the opponent because I wonder what their drawback is that has led them to give away a piece. They take, I'll take this way. I'm still threatening the bishop. If they take my queen, I just take back, and then we've traded off into an endgame where I'm up material. So that's good. I castle. Okay, and after that kerfuffle, I think they might have been better there for a moment, but I'm just up a piece now, which is nice. I'll take it. I do still have to be aware of my drawback. It's weird because my drawback isn't something that I can insure against like the last drawback. It's also not something that I can just get off my back. Like, I don't know, as long as you have knights, like the opponent's last drawback, so you just trade off your knights. So I do have to be a little bit careful here. And again, I can't give away anything for free. I think I'm actually going to keep the queens on the board. I think we're done with trading. I've won my piece. I'm going to hang up my scathe, and we're just going to play normal chess now, I think. Why are they just giving me free stuff? It's so interesting, but I can't explain it. I don't even know if they're doing it intentionally. I'm going to attack their king and see if they give that to me for free as well. That would be the ultimate gift. Why are they thinking about it? There's one real... Okay, I guess rook f2 technically also stops the check, but wholly uncomfortable move. I'm actually going to develop to the side with the idea of playing rook d8. Okay, queen comes in, which is kind of annoying, but I just defend, and all of my pieces are defended, so if they take anything, I can always take back. I'm honestly just dying to know what the opponent's drawback is at this point. Bishop e6, why not? Free will at its finest. Okay, we're gonna get this queen out of here. As much as I've enjoyed her stay, they're gonna have to sacrifice a bishop, I think, to get her out of there. As funny as it was to watch her dive into my position, it is time to go home. All right, queen has to evacuate through g4 or h3, and then I think we just have like rook d2. It's funny because it's just occurred to me that this drawback could also be okay, they've just given away their queen now. It could also be reinterpreted as if your opponent takes a free piece in one place, you have to take a free piece in another place. All right, we've grabbed the king. I have no idea what just happened in that game, but we did manage to win game number 3. Let's go ahead and pop up the info board. All right, you took your opponent's king. Your opponent's drawback was just passing through. You can't capture on the 4th rank. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, that drawback, my last opponent's drawback, I felt like explained a lot. This drawback I don't think justifies the free pieces. With that, we do win all 3 games. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if there are any other like drawback adjacent challenges that I should try. I know that I've done Drawback where I can't see my own drawback. I've done drawback, but it's only hard drawbacks. I can't remember if I've done anything else, but those are the big ones at least. So let me know if you have any other variations that I should try, and I will see you guys in the next one.